In the eerie glow of a single flickering bulb, John and Lily found themselves coming to a harsh, unsettling reality. Their eyes, heavy and blurred, slowly adjusted to the dim light of the derelict room. They were tied to rickety chairs, facing each other, their hands bound behind their backs. The air was thick with fear and confusion. As they struggled to make sense of their situation, a static-filled voice erupted from an old radio on a nearby table.
"Welcome to your choice,"
it hissed, sending shivers down their spines.
"One of you must die by the other's hand. If you refuse, your children will suffer the consequences."
John's heart thudded in his chest. His gaze locked on Lily, whose face was etched with terror. They had 2 young children, Mia and Noah, the apples of their eyes. The mere thought of their children in danger ignited a fierce, protective instinct in them. They attempted to break free, tugging at the ropes that held them captive. But their efforts were in vain. The ropes were tight, biting into their skin, leaving red marks. Their breathing grew labored, marked by the growing dread of their predicament. "John?" Lily's voice cracked, her eyes swimming with tears. "We can't do this. We have to think of Mia and Noah." Her plea was desperate, a cry for a way out of this nightmare. John's mind raced for a solution, his eyes scanning the room for anything that could help. But there was nothing. Just the chairs, the menacing radio, and the dim bulb overhead. The voice on the radio broke the tense silence again.
"The clock is ticking,"
It sneered.
"Make your choice."
The urgency in its tone was unmistakable, and with each passing second, their desperation grew. Memories of their normal life flooded back, tucking their kids into bed, a typical evening at home. How did they end up in this horrifying scenario? Who was doing this to them, and why? "We have to do something, John. We can't let anything happen to our kids," little Lily implored, her voice laced with fear and determination. An idea struck John. "The chairs," he whispered. "We can try to break them." It was a sliver of hope in a sea of despair. Together, they rocked in their chairs, pushing against the constraints of the ropes and the fragile wood. The chairs creaked and moaned under the strain, echoing eerily in the room. Finally, John's chair splintered, and he fell to the ground. His arms were still bound, but there was a new sense of possibility. He wriggled towards Lily, using his teeth to untie her bonds. Once free, they searched for an escape. The windows were barred, the door locked. It seemed hopeless, but surrender was not an option. The radio crackled to life once more.
"Not bad,"
the voice taunted.
"But you're not out of the woods yet."
Its cold, mocking tone sent a chill down their spines. In a fit of rage, John smashed the radio, silencing the voice. It was a brief respite, but they knew the real threat was still looming, and their children's safety was still uncertain. They needed a plan. Lily's eyes fell on the broken chair. "The legs could be weapons," she said, a grim resolve in her voice. Armed with the jagged wood, they prepared to defend themselves. They were no longer just a couple. They were survivors, fighting against an unknown enemy. The door burst open, revealing a hooded figure. John and Lily lunged forward, driven by adrenaline and the primal urge to protect their family. The ensuing struggle was fierce and brutal. They managed to subdue their assailant, their improvised weapons and raw determination giving them the upper hand. They found keys and a phone on the person. Frantically, John dialed 911, his voice shaky but urgent. Relief washed over them as they heard the sirens approaching. The police arrived swiftly, securing the building and ensuring their safety. In the hospital, as they were being treated, the police revealed the devastating truth. Their children, Mia and Noah, had been found, but it was too late. The kidnapper had made good on his threat. The world around John and Lily crumbled, their relief turning to an indescribable, crushing grief. Holding each other in a tearful embrace, they were consumed by a profound sorrow. They had survived the ordeal, but the price was unimaginable. The future, once filled with joy and laughter of their children, now lay shattered, a haunting reminder of the brutal game they were forced to play.